Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the only two types of print-on-demand stores there are and which one you should choose for your business. So the first one we have on the left here is the volume brand. So the volume brand, you might be able to, tell off of the word volume, right? But pretty much you are spamming as many shirts as humanly possible. You are just pushing. You don't really care about the quality. I mean, I've seen people make 7, 8, 9. I've seen some people make even 20 shirts a day, which is insane, right? But you got to understand, the quality is not good. Like, the quality, it's not that they're like trash designs. It's just they don't care if the design is great or not. It doesn't really matter. Quantity over quality every single day for a volume brand. You are literally just printing. Like, imagine a little Chinese factory with a bunch of kids in it printing. You are that factory, just you and your laptop. And eventually, when you get a winner, you just put all your ad spend into it. You literally just dump money into the ad spend, and then you milk it until it's dry. You do it again, and then you do it again, and you do it again. That is a volume brand. It's very methodical. Alternate of what you can do is a passion brand. And the difference with the passion brands, you are making thoughtful designs. I know I said thoughtful clothing here, but I meant thoughtful designs. You are putting intent into almost every single design you do. There's probably not going to be many, and in fact, most businesses like this aren't print on demand. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Most of them, people, they try to make hoodies and stitching and all this and that. Most of it is not print on demand. However, I have seen a good amount of people, it's still print on demand. They make embroidery or whatever it is, and they only have like 4 products. They're putting careful thought and crafting. At a certain point, it is more art than business. You are more so making art than you are running a business. Obviously, you're doing both, right? But the way they treat it is more art. For this, one of the great ways to get people is to build up hype, as you've probably seen with a lot of streetwear brands. A lot of people, they'll tease drops months in advance, weeks in advance, and everyone, I want that, right? So this leads to a more loyal fan base, but at the same time, if that fan base doesn't want to buy, you're cooked, bro. Like, you're cooked. You bought all this material or whatever. Especially if it's print on demand, it's just much harder to build a loyal fan base in general because people know that you're just printing it. But whatever. They're both valid options to choose. The question is, which one do you pick? Which one are you picking to excel to where you want to be? Well, let's look. If your main goal is money, if your main goal is, look, I just want to be a digital nomad, I want to set up my laptop anywhere and just make guap, then you are going to want a volume brand. Very simple, very clear, straight to the point. If your main goal is to make a statement, if you have some type of vision or some type of dream, you want to be the next Virgil, you want people to know your name, that is when you're going to make a passion brand. And I'm just going to go over the pros and cons of both. So, volume brand, faster money, way faster money. Because you are not putting so much time and effort into every single design. Every single design that you make, it's for the sole purpose of finding a winner. It's not to change someone's life. It's not for someone to say, oh my God, like, bro, it's just to find a winner. Because of this, it is purely a numbers game. It is purely a numbers game. You might put out, 100 designs and only 3 hit. In reality, those 3 winners, that's all you're looking for. You don't care about the other 97. You have to be totally okay with that. And because of that, there's less emotional attachment, which some people might say, oh, that's a con, right? But if you've ever ran a business, right? If you're running a print-on-demand store, you will learn very quickly on, or very, very soon, that you do not want to be emotionally attached to the results. If you are putting time and effort, imagine you spend like 3 days on a shirt design, right? You push it, it flops. You're going to be, oh my gosh, man, I'm a failure. My business is a failure. The brand sucks. That is why it's better. Well, not better, but there's a pro to just pushing out a bunch because you're not really attached to any of the outcomes individually. Another pro for this is that it is great for learning business in general. I will say most of what I know today came from just running print-on-demand stores. I mean, obviously other information too, but I mean, when it comes to just selling something, you really get the full breakdown of make product, ship it. If people like, they buy, right? It's so simple. That's how all business works. Whether you're pushing PDFs, whether you're doing drop shipping, whether you're doing Amazon, it doesn't matter. You are putting a product in front of someone's eyes, they're buying it, right? You need someone to buy it. That's how you market. That's how branding works, all this stuff. But very simple, and it's straight to the point with volume brands. Now, of course, they're not bulletproof, right? So there are cons. First, it is purely a game of setting up your systems. While it is true you can like wake up at 2 p.m. if you want, work for 2 hours and then go to sleep, you have to set that system up. And if you don't, you're going to fail pretty much. Like, there is not a way to desystemize a volume brand, kind of. Especially if you're trying to sell it, because you aren't necessarily building a name brand like Nike, right? If Nike wants to sell, they have such a powerful name behind them. All you really have is the system that you make. Whatever system that may be, if you hire out, if you do this or that, right? All you really have to your name is the system. Second, you are always chasing the next winner. Say I'm pushing, nature shirts, and a sunflower shirt gets a hit, right? Now that sunflower shirt might do really well, but if you zoom out, right, you need a lot of ad spend to back up all of the ads you're going to be pushing with this. Because if you're doing organic with a volume brand, it's very hard to make work. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It's very hard to do organic ads with a volume brand. So if you're pushing ad spend and a sunflower shirt blows up, right? So say this is the sunflower shirt, right? If this is doing well, not only do you want to put more money into it, you want to make several other shirts that copy this type of style, whether it's the sunflower itself or the art style or whatever. You are literally, it's just a constant loop. And then say this one wins, right? Say this one up here wins. Bam. Now we have 3 more of these, right? And you just, it's literally a game of whatever wins, you give the more money. You give the most money. That is literally all it is. So if you don't have a winner, you're not in business. I'll keep it a buck with you. You are not in business. The last one, much quicker burnout, because most people are not actually motivated by money. As much as they want to say, oh, I'm motivated by money, they're really not. Because as soon as week 3 rolls around and you haven't really gotten a winner yet, bro, most people are going to drop out. Most people are going to say, oh, maybe I'll look for a different business model. If you care about the money this much, this is a great business model for you, but most people aren't, so they're going to get burnt out very quick. All right, next for the passion brand. So passion brands, pros, you get to fully enact on your vision. You are the artist. If you've wanted to be someone like Virgil, if you wanted to be like Kanye West, right? If you wanted to make your own statement, you can do that. You have full control. You don't care about what other people want for your brand or what other people see in you. You do whatever you want, right? Another one, passion brands have much stronger audiences. I mean, some for obvious reasons, right? Like if you're only dropping once every few months, okay, it's already kind of like a rare commodity. But the other thing is people put their soul into these brands. Like you're putting your soul, your entire, everything you are. And it's almost kind of like a vulnerable act. And so other people can kind of pick up on that. I can pick up on that. A lot of people can pick up on that. And you got to respect that. And you will, over time, build people that actually really love your art. To the point where you don't need 1,000, 1 million people to buy your stuff. You just need the same 100 people to buy it every drop. And because of that, it is so much easier to push ads via Instagram, via YouTube, just social medias in general. You have to pay for less ads because people naturally over time will start to rock with you. And lastly, of course, the accomplishment you get out of it. Because it's your own creative brand, your own creative vision, you're going to feel much more accomplished versus pushing out 100 shirts and like one of them working, like becoming so detached from the result. Now for the cons, because this does have its cons, of course, long term. This is a long-term play. If you are searching around the internet and you're like, oh, I want to run a clothing brand because I want to make money. I want a side hustle. I want to make money. Running a brand you are passionate about, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. It is not the play. Like it's going to be way longer to make money than you actually think it is. Again, for a lot of you, you're not ready for that. I would say it's months on end. You'd probably, like if this is your first brand, it's going to be months until you probably make $1. And unless those first customers are people you know, to expand to a point where you can live off of that brand, much harder. Also, like I was saying, with emotional attachment, if your brand drops something, right, and it flops, Most people look at that like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. Oh, I did something wrong. Like my art sucks. And you can say, okay, nah, I'm not going to feel like that. But you won't know until you spend, days and weeks on a specific type of product just for it to flop. That's when you realize, oh, bro, I was actually attached to the results. I was actually attached because I put all this time and effort in. And lastly, with this, now this is a debatable con, but in my opinion, there is way less of a winning system with a passion brand. Now, you obviously can win. Many do. Every day, there's like brands that blow up, of course. But all I mean with this is, if you look at the volume brand, even a beginner can kind of start to establish, okay, I could see how, I make a brand, right? And then I just put out 100 shirts. Out of those, 3 are good, and then I do 5 of those. Like, it's a system. It's a formulated system. With a passion brand, I mean, bro, you're competing with Hellstar, you're competing with Chrome Hearts, you're competing with Supreme, and that's only underground, right? Like, you have all these people, passionate clothes that you're not competing on the niche anymore. You're not competing on psychology. You're competing on if people really rock with you. That is the difference. So there's a bunch of different ways to market it. There's a bunch of different ways to go about putting your name out there. I just think there's way less of a formula. Like, there's a lot of creativity you can go with it, just way less of a actual winning formula. So out of both of these, which one is better? Because obviously you're like, oh, well, I don't know. I kind of have a feeling. Whatever. So for print on demand, I strongly suggest you choose a volume brand. But with a caveat. There is a caveat in this, and that is that you want to make a volume brand that expands into a personal brand. And all I mean by this, I don't mean like you make a spam store like Temu and then turn it into a Nike, right? That's not what I mean. All I mean is there's a certain way to set up a volume brand so that you can convert it into something you actually love, that you actually enjoy making, that gets long-lasting results, right? There's an actual method. And so how? This is a very oversimplified way to do it, but first of all, you're going to want to actually pick a niche that you know about, that you enjoy, that you like talking about. Because if you're making 100 plus shirts every month for this niche, it's going to be kind of hard to stay motivated if you're making it on rocks, right? If you hate rocks, bro, it's going to be mad hard to come up with, oh, there's little puns. Bro, you're not going to know anything about it. And before you say like, oh, I'm going to just ask ChatGPT for a bunch of ideas, it's valid, right? But I mean the human motivation to keep going, that is what you have to struggle with. If you really enjoy boats, bro, make a boat store. Not a boat PNG, but a boat store. Make a boat POD store. If you like vegetables, make a tomato only store. Like, there are people that will like anything. It's just the harder part is consistently doing it, consistently producing stuff. So second, spam, but only in your niche, right? If you're running a dog store, stop posting skateboarding things. Stop trying to overexpand yourself. Stop trying to come up with a bunch of things that kind of uniquely connect to every single person. You don't want to sell to every single person. Every single person is not going to like your brand, and that is okay. You're just trying to find the people that do like your brand. So spam as many searches as you can only in your niche. And when you find a winner, obviously you're going to have to double down. That doesn't really change from a volume brand. One of the things that will help you stand out, though, is the branding of it. The branding. If you want to not just be like any other business, you're gonna want a brand. That's the channel name, right? Bear branding, because branding is that important in print on demand. You are gonna want a brand if you want to do long term. If you have any plans to sell it, nobody wants to buy. Oh, I sell anything. I'll sell a little bit of anything. Right? That's not a brand. That's just a store. Like, nobody wants to actually go and buy that. With the branding comes recurring customers, comes the loyalty, because there's a consistency that people buy onto. People buy the consistency. They love seeing, the same art style, or they love seeing your same sayings. That is when customers come back. And also, you're gonna want to be doing brand extracurriculars. That's what I like to call it, which just means you're gonna have goals. Right, you're gonna have a brand philosophy, something that you latch onto for kind of your designs. Like, say you run an animal store, right? Maybe you spend not spend. Maybe you, for every $100 you make, you give a $1 or $10 to a charity, right? To an animal charity. Some people will grab onto that, and that's why they will be returning customers. Like, believe it or not, something as simple as that, bro, people really buy into. That's kind of the give back thing. With goals, I don't just mean, oh, I want to hit 10K a month. Everybody wants to hit 10K a month, bro. Everybody wants to hit 10K a month. I mean, make it like a brand philosophy, right? To be like, we want to help grow 100 trees. We want to plant 100 trees with our give back or organization, right? If you're running, say you're running a 5K print on demand store, we want to get a community of 100 people running it. You know, do stuff outside of just the store. Run the Instagram, post content, you know, make a podcast, other stuff like that. Anything outside of the business that really adds to the credibility of the business. With that being said, when you combine both, that's when you get a strong brand. When you combine the vision of like a passion brand and the money focus of just putting out volume, not only do you get a strong brand, but as the picture, as you can see, Mr. West in the building, right? It's gonna rain like you're in a tropic, bro. It's gonna rain like you're in a tropic because you have passion and you have the money focus, bro. It's almost impossible not to grow long term, mind you. None of this is short term. When I say volume is like short term money, I don't just mean like you start a store and you're gonna make 10K in the next month. Like you can, right? But part of the thing is you're gonna have to start putting a little more money into ad spend, With a passion brand, bro, you can put money into ad spend, but if the product sucks because you have nothing to go off of, you're not going off of previous winners, brother, I hate to break it to you, but you're just gonna be wasting money. And nobody likes to waste money. With that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.